Welcome back, my YouTubers, YouTuberites, whatever they call a cult of people who do strange things. Ites? Let's start over. Welcome to another figure review, my fellow YouTubers. Past few videos I did, well, it's not even a handful, it's not even half. Two of the Avengers I did, Captain America and the Hulk. I'm waiting on my SH Figure Arts Thor so I can continue that trend, but who knows where it is. Probably frickin' flew back to Asgard for all I know. Because he's not on my doorstep and it's been 2 weeks. What the hell? Come on, Japan. Ship shit faster. But today, anyway, I decided to do the other half of the equation, the X-Men. I'm not going to do all these guys. Focus is going to be on Wolverine today because he's the most badass. Who doesn't love a good Wolverine? I sure do. The way he cuts into men's flesh. Anyway, I like Wolverine. He's just a freaking badass. So, this is just his little supporting dudes. Because you can't have the X-Men without the X-Men. So here they are. I have no X-Women. I think I'm kind of sexist when it comes to my action figures. I only have... Oh, that's not true. I've got two females. Gamora and Black Widow. Oh yeah. But anyway. So, again, as with all the crap I put on YouTube, kind of a review, kind of not. This isn't really going to be... there's going to be better reviews about this particular figure and these other figures. This is just me rambling because I've got nothing better to do. It's cold outside. I don't want to go outside. Anyway, as with my Captain America, every Wolverine figure that comes out, I have to buy. It's a disease. I've got a couple others, and they're so terrible, they're not even worth mentioning. Now these two are the same. There's a masked and an unmasked variant, so they're not technically different action figures. These are just my three favorite. So I'm going to start with these two. Move a little super skinny Cyclops out of the way here so we can get in these two dudes. I think I bought them on eBay. Someone was selling them together, the masked and the unmasked variant. So I thought it was a great opportunity that for whatever reason, I like to have my Wolverines without claws. So I had one. I kept his claws because, you know, he's got to have his claws. He's Wolverine. But I feel like every figure out there has claws out, and they don't offer us any options of swappable hands with claws and hands without claws, which they should. They try and do these weird little action figure features sometimes where the claws will go into his hand, retract into his hand, and you can pull a little lever and they'll come out of his hand. Those never work. Those are just crap. So swappable hands would be nice. But until then, I just buy two of the same figures and chop the claws off of one, which is what I did on this dude. So it makes him so freaking cool. Because Wolverine is just as fun going around punching people's faces in as he is slicing their faces in. So I like to have the option of claws or no claws, but since that's not usually an option given to us, I had to take matters in my own hands. Chop his damn claws off. But anyway, this is probably one of my favorite figures I have ever owned. I think it's just the perfect blend of articulation, paintwork, sculpt. They're all, for the most part, fantastic. A lot of other people out there making action figures should take clues from kind of the older Marvel Legends figures. They're just, in my opinion, they're perfect. This guy would be my favorite. This is, I think, was a I think he was a part of a 2-pack. No. He's like, no, he was a single by himself. Marvel Legends, that's right. I think he was just a way earlier way. I can't remember. That's what I get for buying these things on eBay. I can't remember what their what wave they're a part of. But anyway, um, in all my videos from here on out, I will attest to how much I hate, abhor the leg joints that you have to twist, the little ball leg joint that you have to twist to get forward and then twist again to get the sideways motion out of. I think they're the most ridiculous, stupidest things on the planet. If I had one person to punch on this planet, Hitler's dead, this guy's next. Whoever invented these little things, oh, I can't stand. But anyway, I'll show you. So, the only thing that keeps this from being my #1 favorite figure on the planet is the fact that if I want him to have all that range of motion in his leg, I have to swivel that little ball joint around, and it's a pain in the ass. And I know it's simple, but trust me, it's a pain in the ass. Other figures can do it perfect. I'll show you here in a second. This is just the stupidest thing. So, on him and on every figure that does this, I would rather throw them in the trash. So I have to twist this little ball joint around, and then he can kick his leg out. Let's do it this way. He can kick his leg out forward, and I put it back down, and then I have to twist it again. There it is. So that he can put his leg out. I can't do both. I gotta wait for this little thing to swivel around so I can. And it's annoying. It's the most annoying thing on the planet. His are somewhat okay because it kind of rotates back to how it should be when you're ready to move it out or move it in. But it takes away from the fluidity of movement. It's just annoying. His aren't as bad. There are other figures out there that you literally can't move it out and then move it forward until you get up in there and twist it around and then twist his thigh back around, and ugh, makes me want to throw up everywhere. Stupid things. But anyway, this guy, aside from that, I think he's got the proportions for a 6-inch Wolverine. I think he's got the proportions down a little better. He is on the shorter side as Wolverine should be. He's still fairly bulky. He's got, I think, the coolest claws. They're real flexible, but the shape of them is real cool. You can see they're more like knives as opposed to this other one. His are like little pokers, real thin. So his claws are just a little cooler looking, like they do a little more damage. Great paint work, great skin tone. His sculpt is pretty cool. He doesn't have the best waist articulation. I mean, he's got kind of the 2 waist joints, which is nice. I mean, he doesn't get hardly any side to side, and then barely forward and back. So it's kind of it's not the best joint. I mean, you don't get much movement out of it, but you do get the side to side, I guess, which is nice. He has awesome every figure should have these little butterfly joints. I kind of think they're a must-have for that kind of natural range of movement. Again, his arms have those. Haven't gotten this guy in a while. He's kind of stiff. He's got the basic ball joint and the hinge for his shoulder, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which is always nice. Swivel for the wrist, and his hands open and close, which is all good and dandy. But then he's got those awesome butterfly joints that allow him to cross his arms. Everybody should be able to cross their arms. It's important. It's a must-have. I can cross my arms. Can you? And if you can, I apologize. That was rude. I didn't think about your feelings first. Paint work, again, good skin tones. He's got, I like kind of the colors of his suits. Like it's a highlighter yellow with a real nice vibrant blue. For his shoulder pads, his gauntlet, his little crotch piece, and his boots. They're just all painted nicely. I mean, it's not the best paint work. There's a little spill over here and there, but nothing to complain about. Just an awesome figure, and The sculpting of his face is awesome. He's got a real mean look to his face, which is kind of hard to pull off. A lot of growling characters just look kind of silly, but his is done well. Just an awesome, awesome Wolverine figure. Again, the only reason that he's not my number one is because of those damn leg joints I hate more than anything. They could have just done something like this. Alright, you ready? Forward and sideways. Holy shit. Sideways and forward. They do both at the same time. And everything in between. There's no wonkiness about it. Those little T-joints work. I know they're not the prettiest things, but I mean, honestly, they don't stand out any more than weird little balls on your hip, which is just strange. Yes, I said balls. So that's probably why. And then on top of that, this guy has that. I think that's one of the best looking Wolverine faces, or any face sculpt. His nose is a little. I think he's fallen over a couple times, bloodied up his nose. But aside from that, that's all my fault. Skin tone, color is great. He's got lots of neat little details, from the hairs on his arm, the veins in his muscles. Now this I don't like. He's got a sculpted torso, so he gets no chest movement, which is a shame. But I guess I can overlook that because of how awesome everything else is. He's got tons of kind of rippling muscles in on his sculpt through the chest. You can see all the striations in the muscles and again the veins, and you can see the suit kind of stretching across his torso, which is awesome. Thought I just heard a cat. Oh, I guess not. And again, that carries on down through his legs. Again, the colors of his suit are just as nice, but he's got a little more of this shading going on, so it gives a little more depth to all his muscles. And I don't know why other figures can't do it, but he has, in my opinion, the best functioning fingers on a hand. They look great closed. Looks like he's about to smash somebody's face in with a nice, well-made fist. And then you open them, and they look nice opened. Looks like he's about to grab something. Nothing wonky. I don't know why so many figures have hands that you can open and close. Well, I'll show you here. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't do it all too well. When they're open, they look fine. But when you close them, there's just kind of a wonkiness there. Like if you were to punch something, he'd break all his fingers because he's not making a fist. Now, that's more of a grabby hand, but closed also looks real funky. But yeah, so he does that pretty perfect. Just a look on his face. I think it's his face sculpt that really gets me. That's just a badass dude. It's just sculpted so well. You just don't get that kind of sculpt in everything nowadays. Things are getting cheaper and cheaper and more awful. This is the masked variant. I kept the claws on. Everything's the exact same about him, except he's got claws and a mask. His mask, not that fond of. It's kind of funny that the face sculpt on him is, I think, one of the best. Yet on him, it's not so great. I don't know what I don't like about his face here. Just not the best Wolverine face. I think they did better on this guy's face than on his. And again, he's got the white for the eyeballs, and then everything else around his mask. You get it's almost just a cutout, like somebody put on a Wolverine mask, not like Wolverine put on his mask, but someone put on a Wolverine mask that you find in Walmart. So his eyes you can see his eyes, his skin tone back there, and it's not just his eyeball and then all black. There's skin tone in there, which makes it look a little wonky. I think Wolverine, at least in the comics, Wolverine's probably going to look more like this, where his eyes are white, and there's nothing but mask around his eyes. Trying to keep this short. I'm at 15 minutes. I should stop it now. My videos get way too long. I apologize. But instead of watching 2 useless YouTube videos, you can watch 1 long, amazing YouTube video. I think I'll get into these guys maybe later. Just wanted to do kind of a quick overview of some Wolverines again, because I have nothing else to do, so why not? I think if you're looking for a Wolverine to add to your collection, sure, there's tons and tons and tons out there, but probably one of these 2 are your best bets. I think this is a Series 3 Marvel Legend. It's either Series 3 or Series 6. That might be both of them, Series 3 and Series 6. I don't remember. You can look it up online. But 2 of the best in my opinion. Great to have, especially if you're looking for scale-wise Hulk or Colossus or Beast or someone who's bigger next to a smaller Wolverine. Just it just looks right. That's kind of how it should look. So yeah, I think if you're after a Wolverine figure, one of these 2 would do it. That's all I got, guys. I'm going back to bed. Peace.